Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I'm going to be joined by Taylor Hudak in a little bit, but I got to the park a little bit early here, and this park is just outside of Cleveland, Ohio. I'd say you're looking at about 15-20 minutes or so of a drive to get here. Grass is a little dry, but boy, it's kind of gorgeous, huh? Look at all those trees. They got a bunch of people over here in the parking lot. Most of them are over on the play set with their kids, if you can see that. It's way in the background. But what I'm not seeing is hysteria. What I'm not seeing is masks. What I am seeing is community. I'm seeing a bunch of kids playing together. I like that. A bunch of kids out doing their kid thing, not being locked up in their house, not living in fear, and not bowing down to the authoritarianism that has reached out all over this country and the globe. 70 watching, seven thumbs up. Let's get the thumbs up, guys. Hopefully we're gonna do, Taylor and I are gonna go on like a little trail trek. There's a nice little trail over there, but boy, man, there's like a little river. I don't know if it's a pond, but it's really gorgeous out here, man. And it lets you know that there is peace in this country and the world. There is beauty in this country and the world. And this is far different, right? Far different than the country that is being portrayed by our media. And what are they portraying? They're portraying a racist, divided country. And yes, I'm just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, folks. That's where I'm at right now. And look, you know, Cleveland isn't a huge city. You know, it's got a decent size to it for sure. But there's a lot of nature within arm's length. I'm in a little town called Elyria right now. And on the way in, I was in a little town called Willoughby. We got geese down there. Oh, that's a big thing of geese. Let's show you that. But I want to get to the media in a second because I've been listening to just a ton of talk radio since I've been driving around. I'm a little exhausted, I'm not gonna lie. But I listened to the White House press secretary's conference today. And I gotta tell you, I get sympathetic towards the president every time I watch one of these briefings. And that's not me, you know, promoting Trump. If you watched my video yesterday with Andrew Smith from Action for Assange, also, actually that was kind of right in the heart of Cleveland, in his office, you know that I bring up a lot of problems with this administration, a lot of the gaslighting, a lot of the foreign policy, a lot of the lies that the media won't focus on. But when I see a media ask the same question over and over again about a Confederate flag tweet, I want to vomit. I want to puke, because they want to make this guy out to be a white supremacist, to be a racist so badly. So badly. And, you know, I listened to his 4th of July speech. There were a lot of issues I had with it, a lot of things I didn't like about it, right? But none of them had to do with race whatsoever. And the tweet they were referring to was basically him calling out Bubba Smollett, aka Bubba Wallace, and the noose nonsense that never was. Again, more headlines to foment hatred amongst neighbors and people that are being oppressed by those at the top, no matter what the color of their skin is. Okay? And really, no matter what the content of your character is. Good people are being oppressed. They are, period. Whether you realize it or not. In fact, it's the ones that don't have much character at the top that do the oppressing that I think that we really need to look out for. Not your white neighbor, not your black neighbor, not your Hispanic neighbor, not your Asian neighbor. That's not what we're talking about. And yet, 6 times they asked about the Confederate flag in Trump when the tweet was mostly about Wallace coming clean. And he basically said that NASCAR's ratings were down because of the Bubba Wallace hoax and the decision to ban the Confederate flag. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to jump on that last part, but he wasn't endorsing the Confederate flag. He was simply pointing out that that could be one of the reasons that their viewership is down. So what? So what? We live in a world where everybody is supposed to walk on eggshells and bow down to the manufactured outrage mob, and I won't be a part of that world. If you were watching some of my videos earlier in the week, you know, I pointed out the absurdity and the selective nature of this outrage culture, of the cancel culture, with the Hamilton release, right? The Disney Hamilton release. And I said, well, you know, if we're gonna sit here and cancel Apu, right? And I'm gonna butcher her name, but shout out to Prady. I watched some of your interview with Eric Jackman. It was really good. This is a political analyst, and she happens to be of Indian descent. And she caught my video where I was like, why are we canceling Apu? All right, why? Because a white man played his voice? Overall, outside of the stereotypes, which really rang true in that late 80s, early 90s culture of many families who came over from India and bought gas stations or bought quick fills, you know what I mean, little convenience stores, sometimes donut shops, you know, a lot of other things. They were very economically motivated to work for themselves. He was portrayed as a positive person, a family man. And they enlightened people to Hindu culture in many ways, okay? And he's gone. And you look at Cleveland, who will no longer be voiced by a white man. We're talking about cartoons here, people. Cartoons. And yet Alexander Hamilton, with this new hype, and it just shows you how controlled the media is, because it doesn't matter whether you were turning on CNN earlier in the week or Fox News or MSNBC or all of it. They all have associations with Disney, and Disney plunked down 70+ million for the rights, 75 million. So you were just hearing how it was going to be streaming on Disney Plus, streaming on Disney Plus, streaming on Disney Plus. And I pointed out that, hey, you know what? Alexander Hamilton was a white guy, and he's being played by a Hispanic guy. And guess what? I don't have a problem with that. No one should have a problem with that. Molina, the guy who wrote, directed, created Hamilton, you know, is a Hispanic guy, and he's playing the lead role. Great, I have no problem with that. But if we are going to be consistent, which none of this has to do with being consistent, right? Then you would not allow that, because that's cultural appropriation. Shouldn't we have a white man playing a white colonist, right? Again, I was wrong. Burmis was correct. I don't know what that means. I missed some of that commentary. It's hot out there, by the way. So anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Instead, now, a couple days later, the outrage mob wants to cancel Hamilton. Okay, why? They want to cancel Hamilton because they feel he wasn't against slavery enough. And although this obviously is based on the Hamilton story, there's a lot of fiction in there. It's a hip-hop musical. So of course there's going to be fiction. There's going to be some artistic license. But they want to get rid of it because they think that, and I haven't seen it yet, but they think they portray Hamilton, the guy it's about, too positively. And he wasn't really against abolishing slavery. He didn't really have a problem with that. He owned slaves. But again, most of those people, those political figures that you're going to see from 150, 200 plus years ago, right, are going to be slave owners. Period. Amen. Northern or Southern in the beginning. Okay? Thumbs this video up, guys. 91, 63 thumbs up. But it boggles my mind, you know, what the next manufactured outrage is going to be and how many people are buying into that fear. You know, all those shootings in New York City over the weekend, that's heartbreaking. And again, to go back to the media being so dishonest, you really give Trump and his administration a leg up when you allow the press secretary to close it out by saying, you know, I had 6 different questions about this Confederate flag tweet where you misconstrued it and you continue to try to divide people on race. And of course she brought up the Covington boys and Jussie Smollett, etc., as hoax examples. But not one of you asked about those mass shootings. Not one of you asked about the 7-year-old or 8-year-old that died by that Wendy's at a Black Lives Matter protest because someone took it upon themselves to start firing into a car when I think it was a woman who tried to go through a barricade. Okay, not a police barricade, none of that. And it's like, whose lives matter? You know, first of all, I am an all lives matter guy. I don't care what the color of your skin is. Again, just like Bobby Green said after that UFC event that was deemed too sensitive to be on Twitter, sensitive content, I judge no man or no woman by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And I'll tell you right now, you know, there are rambunctious children, there are well-behaved children, but there are no evil children, okay? There's no 7 or 8-year-old that deserves to die by the hand of somebody else's gun or anything otherwise because of some political belief system, okay? You deprive that child of growing up to be a human being, and you disgust me. You know, you disgust me when you try to defend riots that you saw an ex police captain gunned down for what? A flat screen television? A fucking flat screen television? That's disgusting. It's disturbing. It makes me obnoxiously upset. And yet now, while I'm cruising around and I'm checking out this country, and I'm at a really gorgeous spot, I can't help but think to myself, man, when is the madness going to end? And if you watch my previous video, I don't know that it's going to end, even after this election cycle, no matter who's elected. I really feel like those in power have consolidated that power so much right now through this COVID-19 84. They've literally eviscerated those small, medium, and sometimes larger sized businesses that were outside of their corporate control, that were opened by your neighbors, that were run by your friends and family, that allowed them to have, you know, a taste of real freedom, of real economic independence. And instead, told a bunch of people to stay inside and don't worry, we'll take care of you. And they gave them 2 to 3 times as much money as they would have made, putting them in a position saying, why would I want to work? Getting them ready for a UBI, getting them ready for an automation nation. While they sell you on overpopulation, this country look overpopulated to you? Huh? Take a look around, guys. Does this area look overpopulated? Are there skyscrapers everywhere? No. No. And as soon as you take that trip around the country and you drive through several states, then you too will realize that that is a mythos pushed upon us by the elite. There is no overpopulation. That myth is created because they know the more people there are, the more challenge to their power that is. And believe me, guys, this right now, trying to get you into a mask, trying to make you afraid of human contact, trying to tell you that you should never shake hands again, that's a transhumanist automation nation agenda rolling out Spot the DARPA robot right now at $75K a piece, and that's just the beginning. We got to fight back and fight back hard. So guys, we're going to take a little walk around this place once Taylor gets here, and we're going to be talking Assange, what's coming up in September, how you can get involved with that issue, because that issue is huge for free speech. In fact, right now, if you haven't seen it yet, after you watch this video, go watch the video I did with Andrew Smith, okay, yesterday, because he brought up another really, really great point that I had missed about all these George Floyd riots. You know, he said, you know, one of the reasons I think that they let those riots go is not only to create divisiveness and chaos, but they want to see who is willing to step up and get violent when they're pushed to the edge, so that when they find out the truth, that this isn't about race, they know who to round up first. They know who to round up first. They know who's going to get wild once they figure out It's a predator billionaire, if not trillionaire class at the top that doesn't give a fuck about any of us. So thumbs the video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmist Brigade, and if you can, guys, the GoFundMe link is down below. I'm on the road. I need your help more than ever. $5, $10, $15, big donors. You mean the world to me. I may stay in Ohio tonight and then take off for Missouri tomorrow. It's about 12 plus hours to Missouri from where I'm at, or Kansas City anyway, so more than likely I'm gonna go and hit some other city closer to the border I'm coming into, and then hit Kansas City on my way over to Madison, Wisconsin. But again, I'm very encouraged that Ohio is a step in the right direction. New Hampshire was one step in the right direction. I think Ohio was 2 steps in the right direction. I saw a bunch of people saying that their Columbus, Ohio mayor has ordered masks. I'm not in Columbus, thank goodness. But, you know, once again, guys, you got to have discernment. You've got to call bullshit out no matter where it comes from. And if I've got to defend the press secretary of the president, who I don't love, I will, because she was right today. So I'll see you guys on the flip side with Taylor Hudak coming up next.